You're talking to a native speaker, you say a simple word like think or beach. They look confused, maybe ask you to repeat it. Suddenly, your confidence vanishes. You feel your face get hot, wondering why they didn't understand. Sound familiar?
Oh, absolutely. Early on in my teaching career, I was explaining grammar to a class. I kept saying the word vowel, but I pronounced it like vowel with a heavy French-style W sound. Half the class looked utterly lost. I realized later they thought I was inventing a new term. If only I'd known how to fix that simple sound back then.
Today, we're teaching you the exact 10 sound mistakes that sabotage your clarity and how to fix them fast using our clear system. I'm Olivia.
And I'm Paul. Welcome to English Together.
Why does pronunciation matter so much? Well, poor pronunciation doesn't just make you sound foreign, it can completely change the meaning of your words or make them impossible to understand. Think about ship versus sheep or beach versus bitch. Getting these wrong can lead to awkward misunderstandings, lost opportunities, or just plain frustration for everyone involved.
Exactly. And it's not about sounding like a BBC newsreader. It's about being understood clearly and confidently. That's why we created the CLEAR system. CLEAR stands for Critical English Articulation Repair. It breaks down the most common pronunciation killers into 5 key areas: consonant clusters, linked sounds, ending sounds, accent patterns, and rhythm. Master these 5 areas, and you'll fix the 10 biggest mistakes holding you back.
In the next 17 minutes, you'll learn exactly what these 10 mistakes are, why they happened, it's not your fault, and the simple practical fixes you can start using today. We'll give you clear examples and even get you practicing out loud. Ready to sound clearer?
Let's dive into the CLEAR system, starting with consonant clusters. English loves cramming consonants together at the beginning or end of words, like strengths or twelfths. Many languages don't do this, so learners often drop sounds or add extra vowels. The 2 biggest cluster mistakes are dropping the first consonant, saying treat instead of street, or rice instead of price, adding a vowel between consonants, saying e-street or supering instead of spring.
Oh, I remember struggling with crisps. I used to say sips because that little pause between the S and P felt impossible. My flatmate thought I was talking about 2 different things. It felt so awkward.
That's a perfect example, Olivia, and there's no shame in that. Confident learners work on these tricky clusters. The fix: slow down and isolate the cluster. Practice saying STR slowly, then add the rest. St, reet, street. For spring, say sp, ring. Don't add that extra vowel. Link the consonants smoothly. It feels strange at first, but muscle memory builds fast.
Okay, makes sense. Now, linked sounds. English speakers connect words together constantly in speech, like would ya for would you. Learners often pronounce each word separately, which sounds robotic. The big mistakes here are not linking consonant to vowel, saying I am instead of the natural I am. Not linking vowel to vowel, saying see it instead of the smoother see it, with a tiny y sound, or go away instead of go away.
This is huge for sounding natural. When I was learning Portuguese, I pronounced every single word distinctly. People understood me, but they kept asking if I was reading from a script. I sounded unnatural because I wasn't linking. The fix: listen for the connection point. If a word ends in a consonant and the next starts with a vowel, glide them together. Hold on becomes hold in. If both end and start with vowels, add a tiny glide sound like ya or wa. He asked becomes he asked. Go on becomes go on.
That y and w glide is so subtle, I never really noticed it until you pointed it out. Okay, moving to ending sounds. This is a massive one. Learners often drop the final consonant sound, especially S, ED, and T or D. The critical mistakes here are dropping final S or ES, saying book instead of books, or watch instead of watches. Dropping final ED or mispronouncing it, saying walk instead of walked, or saying looked with 2 syllables instead of one. Dropping final T or D, saying I instead of it, or han instead of hand.
These endings carry crucial meaning: plural, past tense, possession. Dropping them changes everything. I had a student who kept saying, I like cat. I thought she meant one specific cat she knew. Turns out she loved all cats. She just dropped the S in cats. Big difference. The fix? Exaggerate the ending at first. Really bite down on that final S sound. Books. For ED, remember the 3 rules. After T or D, it's a separate syllable. Wanted. After voiceless sounds like P, K, F, it's ta, like walked. And after voice sounds like B, G, V, it's da, like played. Practice saying the word with the ending clearly, then gradually speed up while keeping it.
That ED rule tripped me up for ages. I used to add an extra syllable to everything. Workid, livid. Sounded so wrong. Okay, accent patterns. English is a stressed, timed language. We stress certain syllables in words and certain words in sentences. Getting this wrong is a top clarity killer. The main mistakes are putting stress on the wrong syllable in a word, saying photograph instead of photography, or present, gift, instead of present, verb. Stressing the wrong words in a sentence, stressing every word equally, or stressing small words like to, the, and instead of the important content words, nouns, verbs, and adjectives.
This is where cultural insight comes in. In many languages, every syllable gets roughly equal time and stress. But in English, stress is like a spotlight. It highlights the most important information. Misplaced stress makes words unrecognizable and sentences hard to follow. I once asked a student for a record, noun. He looked blank. He was thinking of record, verb. Same spelling, different stress, completely different meaning. The fix? Learn the stress pattern with new words. Use a dictionary app that shows stress marks, like photograph. Listen carefully to native speakers. Which words do they make longer, louder, and higher pitched? In sentences, stress the words that carry the core meaning. I need to go to the store now. Don't stress to, the, and.
That makes so much sense. I never realized how much meaning is carried just by which word you punch. All right, finally, rhythm. This ties into stress, but is about the overall flow and timing of speech. Learners often speak with the rhythm of their native language, which can sound choppy or monotonous in English. The big mistake is speaking with syllable-timed rhythm, giving each syllable roughly equal length and stress, instead of the natural English pattern of stressed syllables being longer and unstressed syllables being shorter and quicker, often reduced to schwa sounds, the sound.
Think of English like music. Stressed syllables are the beats. Unstressed syllables are the quick notes in between. If you play every note the same, it loses the rhythm. I remember listening to a presentation where every syllable got equal weight. It was exhausting to follow because my brain couldn't pick out the key points. The fix? Focus on the stressed words or syllables and let the rest flow quickly. Practice sentences like, I went to the store for some bread. Say went, store, and bread clearly and a bit longer. Say I, to, the, for, some quickly and reduce the vowels. Closer to sounds, ta, the, sa. It feels like you're mumbling the small words at first, but that's the natural English rhythm.
Okay, pause for 1 second. We've just covered 5 major mistake areas and 10 specific errors. But here's the thing. Knowing the rule isn't enough. You need to feel these sounds in your mouth, or they won't come out naturally when you're speaking.
Exactly. So right now, say this tricky cluster with me. Ready? Say S-T-R-E-N-G-T-S. Go ahead, say it out loud right now, even if you're alone. Well, wait, that's the power of linking in rhythm. It transforms how you're perceived. And remember the social proof. Confident learners ask more questions about pronunciation than shy learners. They record themselves, they mimic, they ask, did I say that right? That engagement is what leads to improvement, not hiding mistakes.
What about those tricky ED endings, Paul? Any other tips?
Great question. Besides the 3 rules, listen for the sound, not the spelling. Looked is spelled with ED, but you say looked. Played is spelled ed, but you say played. Don't let the spelling trick you. Focus on the final sound of the base verb. If it ends in t or d, add an extra syllable, id. Otherwise, just add t or d. Practice minimal pairs. Walk versus walked. Play versus played. Need versus needed. Hear the difference?
We've taught these exact 10 sound mistakes and the clear system fixes to over 60,000 students in our courses and community. And the number one thing they tell us months later is that focusing on these specific areas, especially stress and rhythm, made the biggest difference. People stopped asking them to repeat things. They felt more confident joining conversations. It wasn't about sounding native, it was about being understood clearly and easily.
Exactly. In our learning community, we consistently see that the students who make the fastest progress are the ones who embrace practicing these tricky sounds out loud, record themselves, and focus on just one clear area at a time. It works. All right, let's recap the clear system and the 10 sound mistakes we need to stop making. Consonant clusters. Dropping the first consonant, e.g. treat for street, fix, slow down, isolate the cluster, STR. Adding a vowel between consonants, e.g. E street, fix, link consonants smoothly, no extra vowel. Linked sounds. Not linking consonant to vowel, e.g. hold on, not hold on, fix, glide words together. Not linking vowel to vowel, e.g. see it, not see it, fix, add a tiny Y or W glide. Ending sounds. Dropping final S or ES, e.g. book for books, fix, exaggerate the S sound. Dropping final ED or mispronouncing it, e.g. walked for walked, fix, learn the 3 rules, T, D, or extra syllable. Dropping final T or D, e.g. I for it, fix, bite down on that final consonant. Accent patterns. Wrong syllable stress in words, e.g. photograph, fix, learn stress patterns with new words. Wrong word stress in sentences, e.g. stressing the. Fix, stress content words, nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Rhythm. Syllable time speech. Equal stress and length. Fix, stress key syllables or words, reduce and quicken unstressed ones. Schwa,
This week, pick just one area from the clear system that you know trips you up. Maybe it's final S sounds, maybe it's linking. Practice only that area for 5 to 10 minutes every day. Use the fixes we talked about. Record yourself saying a few sentences, focusing on that one thing. Small, consistent practice wins.
All right, we covered so much today, and we're proud of you for sticking with us. Pronunciation is a journey, and focusing on these 10 key mistakes is a massive step forward.
If this video helped you understand why people might not understand you sometimes and gave you clear fixes, please give it a like right now. It helps other English learners find this practical lesson. And if you haven't already, subscribe to English Together. We post a new, actionable English lesson every single week to help you communicate with confidence.
Now, here's our question for you. Have you ever had a funny or awkward moment because of a pronunciation mistake? Maybe you said a word that sounded like something completely different, or maybe someone completely misunderstood you because of stress or a dropped ending. Tell us your story in the comments. Olivia shared her Cree-Sips disaster, and I told you about my vowel confusion. Now it's your turn. We read every single comment and will reply to as many as we can. Plus, your story will help other learners feel less alone in their pronunciation struggles.
You're doing great. Remember, everyone makes these mistakes. What matters is practicing the fixes. Keep working with the clear system, be patient with yourself, and celebrate small wins. You've got this.
Thanks for learning with us today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you next time on English Together.
Bye.
Bye!